Last week we discussed about the blood, how it gets formed, what is the process of formation of blood as per TCM, and we saw some of the important functions of blood. So today we will continue this journey on blood and try to understand more how the blood interacts with different organs. So before we proceed further, I wanted to make you think on one aspect. Say when we eat food, okay, say 4 or 5 people eat the same food. The raw material for the food is the same, but after the food gets processed, okay, the formation of blood is different in different person. Say the blood group in each person is different. Even though the food with which the blood was formed is the same, but the blood group is different. Okay, how is this happening? Any guess? Where does that specificity for each person come in? While the blood is the source for the blood is the same. Anybody wants to share their thought on this?
Sir, I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
My thought is earlier in one of the classes you had mentioned the kidney essence is like a draft of the body, like a original map, where exactly how that body is going to be stored. Probably that is where this blood group is also stored, and based on that, the formation is happening.
Exactly, right. Okay. See, the food is coming in this spleen, okay, and up to here the air which is getting mixed from the lungs is also same for everyone, okay, but after it comes to the heart, okay, there is some, up to this part it is generic, same for everyone, but once it comes over here, this is where the individuality of that person is getting infused, either the different blood groups and different characteristics of the blood. Okay, so in the Western philosophy or the Western medicine, we say that that is a genetics or DNA of the person's body. So, but in TCM, we say that it is the kidney essence and the original key. Original key is once again derived from the kidney essence. So these two factors, when they come into the equation, we get specific characteristics of blood to that particular person. So, and we have the blood group, etc. Okay, in a different view of the same thing. So, post heaven key is the common factor. Okay, whatever is coming from the spleen and stomach, and whatever is coming from the kidney, which is the pre heaven, okay, whatever we acquire during the birth process, okay, that gives the specificity. This is general and this is specific, so both put together makes a unique blood. Okay, so this was about the specific and general part of the blood. So now we will get into the interaction of blood with different organs. See, as per TCM, the blood is created where? What creates the blood?
Spleen.
Okay, spleen supplies the raw material for creation of the blood, but the actual blood gets created in heart as per TCM. Okay, the spleen provides the food key, but at the end, when it takes the shape of the blood, that happens in the heart. So we will try to understand that little bit more. Okay, so what TCM says, is heart governs blood and blood vessels which are responsible for its circulation. When we treat heart, it is not just the organ which is the fist size. We also look, when we also treat the whole circulation system, the vessels, the arteries and veins, even that is included when we treat the heart. So that is what it is saying here. The heart governs blood and the blood vessels, arteries and veins, which are responsible for its circulation. And heart is also the place where the blood is made through the agency of heart fire. Very crucial statement, and it is very important to understand this concept. What ECM says is, heart is also a place where the blood is made. The blood is getting created, is made through the agency of what is making the blood. It is the heart fire or the heart yang. So we will discuss this little bit later. The fire is yang and it transforms it into yin, blood. Okay. So like these are all extremely crucial statements to understand. Okay. So I have given an analogy over here where a tea is being prepared. Okay. So what is the process of preparation of tea? Okay. You put milk, you put tea powder, you put sugar, and you put little water and little spices, whatever you want, like elaichi, etc. See, I don't heat it. Say I mix all the raw materials and I just give it in a cup. Would you call that as a tea? Cool.
No.
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 Everything is there, right? Milk is there, tea powder is there, sugar is there, water is there. I can put some extra masalas for the tea. But why don't you call it as tea? It is tea, right?
Fire is required for transformation.
Okay. See?
Fire is required.
Yes, right. See, it is not boiled. We just mixing the raw materials will not give us the tea. It needs to be boiled. It needs to be cooked. Similarly, whatever food that we eat, it is a raw material. It gives vitamins, carbohydrates, all those things. But finally, all those things should get converted into blood. The process requires heat. So where is that heat coming from? That heat is coming from the heart. Okay. So that is why heart is associated with the element fire. Okay. And its energy is heat. So that heat in the heart cooks the raw materials and finally gives the shape of blood. Okay. So here in this analogy, whatever is the fire coming from the burner is the yang, and what is the liquid inside the container is yin. The liquid is yin or yang?
In.
Liquid is yin and the fire is yang. So, but there is a very important concept to be understood. See, imagine the blood is getting created. Because of the heart fire, blood is getting formed. Now in this teapot, if the tea, the liquid was very less and the fire was very, like the usual fire is there, but very little, few drops of tea is there, what will happen?
It will burn.
It will burn.
Tea is burnt.
Tea is burnt. Tea is burnt.
It is burnt.
And
It is burnt.
the vessel will become more heated than it is supposed to be. While the tea is getting cooked, the vessel is hot. But when the liquid inside is absent, the vessel will become more hot because the entire heat is absorbed by the vessel itself, and the liquid is not there to absorb it, right? So similarly, so this concept is which gives us the full heat and empty heat concept. Okay. What is full heat? If the fire is too much, the liquid is as much it is supposed to be, but imagine the fire is like double or triple, then it is full heat. The fire is too much. Now imagine a case where the fire is normal, but the liquid is very less. What is happening? The liquid is not there to absorb that heat, right? So it is called as empty heat. Okay. The heat, which is extra heat, which is generated because of the lack of fluids in the body, is called as empty heat. Make sense? This is a very important concept which you will use it extensively in diagnosis.
Sir, please repeat again, sir.
So there are two things here. One is the fire and the liquid. The fire is trying to heat the liquid, right? Now, out of these two parameters, if I alter it one, okay, so I increase the fire. I increase the fire too much. Say both the fire and liquid should be here. Okay. Now, but I increase the fire too much. Then this is called the full heat. Now, in the fire and liquid balance, I reduce the liquid. Fire is as much it is. So what happens? The vessel will become hot. Because why it is becoming extra hot? Because there is no fluid to absorb that heat, extra heat. So this condition is called as empty heat, where the fluids is less. Okay, heat. That empty heat is getting created because of lack of liquid or fluids in the body. Is this clear?
No, sir.
Pardon? No?
I'm sorry. Actually, I feel it is indeficiency, not empty heat.
Say indeficiency always leads to empty heat. Over a period of time, say the fire is, you keep it as it is, and you reduce the liquid. What happens? The indeficiency leads to empty heat. You read any of the TCM books, that is how empty heat is because of the indeficiency. What does that mean in the body? This is the analogy to understand it. Is it
But,
making
That means there is no sufficient liquid. You're saying that there is no sufficient liquid.
Yes. When there is no sufficient liquid to absorb that heat,
Okay.
that creates the excess
Empty.
heat kind of symptoms. It is not the excess heat. See, the fire is the same, but because there is lack of fluid, a person feels that they have excessive heat symptom. That situation is called as empty heat. See, the engine is running, and whatever is the coolant, the engine coolant is supposed to be there. No, if it is both engine and coolant is at the right proportion, the vehicle will move smoothly. But the coolant is reduced. If the coolant is less, what will happen? The engine is doing its normal function, but the heat will become too much because the coolant is less. Make sense? Is it making sense?
Yes, clear.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Others?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Revati,
in
madam.
semester, yes, sir, sorry. Semester classes when it was going on, no, they told actually it is not exact heat increasing. It appears to be more. That is what they told as that this
Empty heat.
that is empty heat.
That is what I am saying. What they told is right. Even I am also telling the same thing.
Yes, sir. It is
The
the same.
fire is same, but the fire is same, but the liquid has reduced. So what happens? The person feels more heat than usual. It is not because of the excess fire. It is because of the deficient fluids in the body. And that is called as yin deficiency. Yin is cool things. Cool things are all liquids, are all cool things, right? So the liquid is less. That is creating the heat symptoms in the body. Clear? What the semester teacher taught you and what I am teaching you, both of them are the same. It is not different. Okay. Fine.
Sir, hello.
Yes.
Empty heat is when in is less, the heat is the same.
Yes.
Full heat is when in is normal, but the heat is more.
Yes.
Okay. And why does the heat become more?
We will discuss it later.
Okay.
Because of many reasons.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Fine. Okay. So we will proceed. Okay. And if there is still doubt, just let me know in the group. I will discuss further. Okay. So this process, fire is yang and it transforms into yin. Okay. So fire is essential to convert the raw material into blood. Okay. Now, the same time, blood cools down the fire, prevents it from flaring up excessively. Imagine if there is no liquid in the container, what would happen? The vessel will become very, very hot. And sometimes it will get deformed also, right? You would have seen if somebody forgets to put something in the vessel and just put it on, okay, all the vessel will become dark, blackish. Okay, so this situation is prevented when liquids are there. Okay. So that is what it is saying. Blood cools down the fire, preventing it from flaring up excessively. Okay. So now the blood is acting as a coolant. The coolant was created by the fire. It is very important to understand. How was the blood created?
I'm having a doubt. I'm having a doubt.
Yes, please.
Then here fire is yang, then blood is in.
Yes.
Okay.
Blood is
Sir,
part of
I'm
yin.
not getting the point. I'm not getting this point at all, sir.
You're not what you're not getting. What is confusing? Tell me.
You're telling that it is a empty fluid is less, so it is known as a empty heat.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Then now fire is yang. You're telling that fire is yang.
Yes.
It will transfer it as a blood and it becomes yin.
See, imagine.
Okay.
Say if there is, say you are heating 1 liter of blood. Okay, with the 1 unit of fire. Now, so it will give you X degree of temperature when you touch it. Okay, or instead of that, I'll use this example itself, tea. So you are boiling 1 liter of tea with 1 unit of fire. Now, instead of 1 unit of tea, you keep it into half liter. You reduce it into half liter. And the flame is the same, 1 unit of fire. What will be the temperature of the tea? Will it be higher or lesser? Or the same?
Higher.
No, Nagamani madam. So you are heating, in the first case, you are heating 1 liter of tea. And in the second case, you are heating half liter of tea with the same amount of fire. So which will have more heat? When you put the thermometer or when for the touch, which you will feel more hotter? Half liter or 1 liter?
Sir, the lesser one will be more heat.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and the same thing is when it happens in the body, it is called as empty heat.
Empty heat. Okay.
See, the half-liter tea became hotter. Is it because of excess fire or less amount of tea?
The less amount of tea.
Yeah. So the yin was less.
Yes.
The liquid was less.
Yeah.
That is why it became
Yeah.
more hotter. It was not because of the higher flame.
Flame.
Right. So this is empty
Okay.
heat. Now you are heating both 1 liter of tea in both the cases. In the first case, you are using 1 unit of heat. But in the second case, you are using 2 units of heat. Now, which will be
Okay.
more hotter?
Again, the tea only, it will be more hotter because
The second
it is,
case will be hotter, right?
yeah,
the 2
second
units.
case. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
that hotter is because of less tea or more flame?
Less tea.
No, the tea is the same, right? 1 liter for both. Okay.
Tea. Okay. The tea is same. Okay, sir.
1
Okay,
liter
okay.
in both the cases. Now, the second scenario I am telling. First,
Yeah.
1 liter with 1 unit of heat and 1 liter of tea with 2 units of heat.
Yes, okay.
Now, heat is coming from because of the flame, not because of the less tea, right?
Okay.
Is it clear? So this situation is called full heat.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Make sense? Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So anybody
Got it.
else has this doubt, please make it clear now itself, because it is very, 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 very important concept. It is clear for everyone?
Yes, sir, it is
Yes, sir,
clear.
clear.
Actually, now I am understanding why Archana, one of the lectures, she said, understand indeficiency is heat. Now I understand why.
Okay, great.
Sir, so now coming to heart and the blood, you say blood is in and
Yes.
heart is yang.
Heart fire is yang.
Heart fire is yang.
Okay, so
Okay.
I will expand this concept further. So now the second part, the blood cools down the fire, okay, preventing it from flaring up. I told this thing. Okay, if there is no tea in the pot, that pot will become hot and it may even change the shape. Okay, so that is why we say when there is yin deficiency, the structure would change, because there is no liquid to absorb that heat. Okay, when I gave you the example of a shrinking apple or a tomato, okay, if it is shrinking, the fluids are coming out of the tomato, so its yin is coming down. Okay, yin deficiency. Okay, so the next part, so there is very important or crucial statement. Okay, so discussion on blood, there is a book called Discussion on Blood, which was written by Tang Zhonghai, okay, in 1884. Okay. So that book says this statement, okay, and a big statement, and out of that I have understood only what I have highlighted in red. Okay, what is in the black, some part of it I don't understand. So we will take it up in some future class. So we will try to understand only the statement which is in red. Fire is yang and generates blood, which is yin. On the other hand, blood nourishes fire and makes sure that the fire does not flare up. Fire is yang, it helps in creation of the yin. And on the other hand, blood, the yin, nourishes the fire. Okay. The heart is giving the fire and creating blood. But for the heart to create fire, it requires blood. Without blood, will the heart function? Coronary arteries, right? In the coronary arteries, blood should flow. Only then the heart will be functioning, right? So what it is saying is both of them are interdependent. To create blood, the fire is needed. For the fire to get created, blood is needed. The yin and yang combination, you cannot separate it. It is together. Is it making sense?
Interdependency.
Yes, the interdependency of it.
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, fine. So what is there in the black part of the statement? Okay, we will just ignore for the time being, and we will take it up in some time future. So please ask your questions.
Like the bone marrow produces the blood, so that is not included in this TCM.
Yeah, it is there. In the last class we discussed about it, right? So see, so the bone marrow is this is where the bone marrow comes, the kidney and original key. Okay, so what was the statement? Okay, blood formed in heart but assisted by kidney. Kidney stores essence which produces marrow. This in turn generates bone marrow, which contributes in making the blood. Essence to marrow, and marrow to bone marrow, and from bone marrow to blood. Okay. So that is what the TCM says. But the Western medicine says directly from bone marrow. So both of them are telling the same. But the sequence of it is
but there is a hormone produced by kidneys to control the bone marrow production of blood, no?
Yeah. See, there is so much more chemistry inside it. But if we get into that, it will become too complicated. Okay, it will be all the MBBS course, not the TCM course. So what TCM says in a general overview, it is that. Okay. Yes, madam. Revati, madam, you can ask.
What I was saying is, when you say the heart is giving, because it's element fire, it is providing heat to the blood. Now, why pericardium is not doing the same thing?
See, pericardium together with the heart. See, when pericardium and heart are together, it would eventually be taking the assistance of pericardium, right? It is not that only heart is doing. See, now the fire is there in all the organs. What Bindu madam was asking. See, kidney also has fire. Okay, kidney yang. Liver also has fire. Liver yang. Okay. And so for example, the milk is there. Milk did not come just like that. It also has gone through some kind of heat treatment, like say pasteurization, etc. in the factory. So it also brings that effect of heat, right? And tea powder was not created just like that. It was dried. The sun's energy is already there. The heat of the sun is already there in the tea. So now with all those heat combined, we put a new heat, which is called heart yang, heart fire. That is creating the blood. Okay, so for example, in sugar also was created through heat, right? By heating the sugarcane juice, right? So in that way, the different heats are already there in creating the different subgroups. Now all of that come together in the pot, and then a new form of fire is there, which is creating the tea. That fire is the heart fire. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes. Or what?
How does heat come?
Or what? Okay, we will ask the question here itself. Okay, repeat the question, sir.
How does heat come in the heart?
It is through the process. See, one is interdependent on another. you work, you do eat the
Is
food.
it by the contraction and expansion of the heart?
See, the contraction and expansion is one part of it. See, because the
Does it
heart is
generate heat for
pumping,
the heart?
because the heart is pumping, it is also generating heat. But that is not the only form of heat. What I am trying to say is every organ is producing the heat. And that heat is flowing through the blood and coming to the heart. Isn't making, like, say, it is just like if you want to earn money, you have to invest money in the business. It is just like that. If you don't invest money in the business, you will not earn money. So to earn money, you have to invest money. But if you don't have money, how can you invest?
So all the organs put together, they add heat to the blood, isn't it?
So I will expand that example. Say
Can
you
I
don't
just
have
tell
money.
something, sir?
1 minute, I'll give you an opportunity. See, you don't have money, but you want to create money. So somebody will give you a seed money. Okay, your relatives or friends, they will give you, say, 10,000, and you say, okay, you invest that in your business and you grow that 10,000 into 10 lakhs. Right? That 10,000 is a seed money, and whatever is grown is your money. Similarly, a seed money is given to us in the form of the mother and father. The sperm and the ovum is the seed money through which the 5 elements are given to us as a gift. So now we use that 5 elements and then work upon it. Okay, and we grow. We take the nutrition from the mother's body and we keep on growing. Just like you converted that 10,000 seed money into 10 lakhs or 10 crores. Similarly, that seed money, which was given by the 2 cells of the mother and father, is utilized to create more and more and more, and then we get a full form of human body. Make sense?
For the small intestine also, there also the energy starts, energy in the form of heat.
It is there. See, I am trying to give you a bigger picture. Don't go into the tiny pieces. Okay. You asked, how is the fire coming? I gave you an example of how the fire is getting generated inside the body. So we expose the body to the sun, we absorb the heat, we eat the food. Say we eat some tomato or apple. That apple was there in the sun. Okay, the apple had absorbed the heat energy from the sun. That goes in and that creates heat when it gets digested. So in all these forms, okay, the heat is getting generated in the body. Fine. Sir?
Yes, that's clear.
Clear? Okay. I am willing to take more questions on this itself because it is very crucial to understand. The heart is creating the blood with the help of fire. Okay, the heart is creating the fire and through that blood is getting created. But for the heart to create fire, it requires blood in the coronary arteries. Okay. And without blood, it cannot create fire. So that is the interdependency of fire and blood, okay, or the heart and blood. Okay.
So it is said that blood is produced in the bone marrow.
It is in Western medicine, not in TCM. TCM says it is produced in heart.
Oh, not in the bone marrow.
See, both of them are right. I just gave the example of that. No, see, even in TCM it says it is created in heart, but the energy from kidney is needed, and that energy of the kidney is responsible for bone marrow. In that way, both of them are right.
Okay.
Okay. Next question.
Sir, 1 minute, one thought actually. Sir, actually, blood when it goes, for like coronary artery, blood is helping heart to generate fire and do its function. Similarly, blood flows for all the organs.
Yes.
And because of that blood flow only, all the organs are working properly,
Yes.
isn't it? They
Yes.
are doing their work.
Mhm.
So that blood is helping the yang of all the organs in their function.
Yes, right. See, there is interdependency of everything on everything. For example, we will take a different example. Say there is spleen. What is the work of spleen? Is to convert food into food ki, right? But spleen also requires blood to create that food ki. But at the same time, blood requires food ki for it to become blood. You see the interdependency? Without blood, food ki is not getting created. Without food ki, blood is not getting created. Similarly, if we take wind. So for the liver to function, blood is needed. And for the heart to function, wind is movement. Heart is doing this lub dub movement, and that movement is provided by liver, wind. So without wind, the heart will not function, and without heart, liver will not function. That kind of interdependency is there throughout the body, and that is what we learned in the create and control cycle. Every element is connected to all the other elements. Just bring that image in front of your mind. So we discussed this. See, every element is linked with all the other elements. So in that way, this interdependency is there throughout the body. Okay. Hope I am answering your question. Did you get your answer, madam? Disease we will not discuss now. We will discuss in the disease section. Because if we get
You
into
asked me,
disease,
sir?
yes, you had asked that question, no? Is it clear?
Yeah.
No, I did not get
It is all interdependent. I
Yes.
feel blood is helping the yang of all the organs
Yes.
for its function mainly.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It creates the so now what is the relationship of the blood with internal organs? We will try to understand this part. Okay, so in this chapter we are discussing about blood. Okay. How blood is created and how blood is getting influencing all different organs. Now in this, so in the whatever in the past previous paragraph that we read, in that it is apparent that the heart is essential for the formation of blood, and that it also has a flow downwards to the lower burner to interact with the blood. Okay, this part I have put it in the black, which I am not yet fully clear. So I will skip this part and we will take it up in some other class. So one other aspect in Chinese medicine is that Chinese pulse diagnosis. What they say is Chinese pulse diagnosis confirms that the heart corresponds to blood and the lungs corresponds to qi. Since the heart is felt on the left side,
lungs qi is felt on the right hand pulse.
The left side can be taken to reflect the state of blood, while the right side pulse indicates the state of qi. Okay, what this statement is saying is, when we take the pulse on the left hand, okay, so it indicates many things, okay, but it also predominantly indicates the state of blood in the body. But in the right side, when we take the pulse, it gives lot of information, but predominantly it gives the information of the state of Qi in the body. So this is the difference between the left hand pulse and the right hand pulse. Okay, left hand is related to blood because the left side, the heart is tilted slightly towards the left side. Okay, so, and next part is, say, these are the three, all organs are important, but when it comes to blood, these three organs are most important: the heart, the spleen, and the liver. Why they are important? Because why these three organs are most important when it comes to blood. The spleen, don't get confused here, gives the raw material to the creation of blood. Okay, the spleen gives the raw material, that is the food key to creation of the blood. Okay, that is why it says makes. And the heart governs the blood. Okay, all the other aspects of creation of blood is governed by the heart. And after getting created, the liver stores the blood. Okay, so because these are the three important functions as per when it comes to blood. Okay, so these are the three organs. Whenever somebody is having an issue with blood, why should we understand this? We have to give importance to these three organs. Okay. Okay. So first we will try to understand about the spleen. Spleen is related to blood in two ways. Okay, one is it is the origin of blood as it produces food key. It is the raw material, just like the milk is a raw material for the tea, and milk, the cow produces the milk. Similarly, the spleen is the food key is the raw material for the blood, and the food key is produced by the spleen. And this is the basis for the formation of the blood. And second one is spleen is giving the raw material. Along with that, spleen ensures that the blood remains in the blood vessels and do not extravasage. What is one of the important function of the spleen? Is to hold.
Holding the blood in blood vessels.
Yes. So that holding the blood in the blood vessel is an important function of the spleen. So, and even though that there is, say the blood vessel is there, but to keep the blood within that blood vessel and not allow the blood to ooze out, say in purpura and all, the blood is coming out, right? There is no rupturing of the vessel. All those things are maintained by spleen key. Okay, so it ensures that the blood remains in the blood vessels. So if spleen key is deficient, okay, if the energy in the spleen is deficient, what happens? The key cannot hold blood and hemorrhages may result. So if the hemorrhages is not supposed to happen, then the key energy in the spleen should be good. So that it is the internal bleeding, okay, is hemorrhages. So yes, the internal bleeding is because of spleen key deficiency. Okay, fine. Next. So this is an important chapter. Okay, relationship of blood with liver. So liver stores blood, and this has important functions or important meanings. Say like as we had discussed, like 20 to 25% of the blood is stored in the liver. If the body has about 5 liters of blood, 1 to 1.5 liters of blood is stored in the liver. Now, the blood flow while standing and sleeping. So when it comes to the blood flow, okay, there are two main positions that we are in. One is upright and the other one is horizontal when we are sleeping. Okay. So when we are upright, the extra blood is needed for different functions. When we are walking, doing some work, or when extra food is taken in, extra blood is needed for digestion, all those things. When we are mentally very active, extra blood is needed. So all those things, the blood is circulated, extra blood is given by the liver when there is a need. So it is, say, imagine when we are lying down, it may be holding like, say, 25%. When we are upright, it may be holding like 20%. This is not exact, but that 5% difference it gives to other organs, whichever is needed. If the digestive system requires it, it gives to the digestive system. If the muscular system requires it for activity, it gives to the muscular system. If brain requires it for thinking, deep thinking, all those things, it gives it to the brain. So that extra 5% that it has, it keeps giving. That is while we are upright. Okay. When in rest, when we are in the horizontal position, the blood goes back to the liver. Okay. That extra 5% what is circulating throughout the body now will go back to the liver, because blood needs to regenerate itself. That happens in liver, and that happens in the restful state when we are in the horizontal position and when we are in deep sleep. Now that is why adequate rest,
According to the organ clock, the cleansing of blood takes in liver during
yes,
1 to 3 a.m.
Yes, that is when we are in the deep sleep state between 1 to 3 a.m. So that is why it is important to have adequate rest, deep sleep in the horizontal position, especially for those who have liver blood deficiency. Okay. So this is in terms of the positions, vertical and horizontal. Now, whatever blood the liver is storing, so it has other functions, and that is to moisten the eyes and the sinews. Eyes is the opening of the liver, and eyes requires moisture. Okay, so that moisture is given by the blood from the liver, and the sinews is the joint between the bone and the muscle. Okay, even to that the blood is supplied, the moisture is maintained by the liver. So this storage of blood gives good eyesight and the flexibility to the joints. Okay. We are able to move the joint because of the muscles. Okay. The muscles move and that makes the bone move. Okay. So if you see many of the people who have problems in the eyes, okay, not all, okay, to good amount of it. So the deficiency in the liver blood is the one which is causing their eye problems. Okay, because if the liver is well nourished, the eyes will also be well nourished, okay, and the problems will be less. And the third is the liver storage of blood in relation to physiology and pathology of menstruation. Okay, menstruation is very closely linked to the blood stored in the liver. Okay, so it is you can imagine the overhead tank in the house is the liver, and the water is there in the overhead tank, and you open the tap somewhere in the house, in the kitchen or somewhere, the water comes. If there is no water in the overhead tank, what happens? The water will not come. Similarly, when there is sufficient blood in the liver, the menstruation will be proper. Okay, sufficient flow will be there. If the blood is not there in the liver, the flow will be less. Okay, scanty periods or amenorrhea, okay, where the periods don't happen. these problems come in. But if we go little detail, so liver blood first gets into the chongmo, it is called penetrating vessel, and from there it goes to the uterus. Okay, I will not discuss more about this chongmo because I have not taught about it. So for all practical purposes, think that the liver blood directly goes to the uterus. Okay, if the less blood is there in the liver, less blood will come to the uterus, and if sufficient blood is there in the liver, sufficient blood will come to the uterus. Okay, and when the excess part is when there is too much of heat in the blood, excess blood will come in the uterus. Okay. Apart from these three things which I told, there are some other scenarios which we will not go right now. So thus liver blood is extremely important for the regular and healthy menstrual function. Okay. The fourth one, kidney and liver have a common origin. Okay. So I will first show this figure. So this is the uterus, and to this uterus the energy is coming from two places. One is through the liver blood and through the kidney essence. Okay. And with the combination of these two, menstrual fluids are getting created. Okay. So with this we will continue over here. The kidney stores essence. And the liver stores blood. The kidney stores essence and the liver stores the blood. The kidney is the mother of liver. In the creative cycle we have studied this. The kidney is the mother of the liver. So the essence and the blood mutually influence each other. Okay.
The essence is stored in what form in kidney?
It is.
How is it?
It is liquid. Like to show a photograph, there is no detailed description of the essence about the kidney. Okay. The essence can be transformed into blood, and on the other hand, blood also nourishes and replenishes essence. So in a simple word, we can understand this as the essence will get converted into blood, and the blood is needed to create the essence. Okay. So it is once again that interdependency is there.
Okay.
Okay. And anybody who wants to join these sessions, those who are watching in YouTube or other places, you can join. Still it is open. Okay. The classes started in Feb 2021 and it will go up to Feb 2022, and the fees is just 2,000 rupees for the entire year. And if the classes happens on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And if you are interested, you can WhatsApp me on my number. Okay, 91 is the country code, 963231795. And these videos will also be available in my YouTube channel, Krishnamurthy Acupressure. So you can subscribe to the channel and also click on the like button if you like the video. Okay. So I thank everyone for joining today's session. So have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time zones. Okay, see you in the next class. Thank you.